$2,500 to $5 million plus business loan. How to get a business loan without getting scammed, without having your information dispersed to other third-party lenders, organizations. How to be very careful about where, when, how you go and apply. Why it's most important that you just don't use the whole spray and pray method, because this other agent under-delivered and now I have to go find something on my own. Or perhaps you and I spoke and you're thinking, man, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm going to let my ego, my stubbornness, my ignorance, and more drive me to go find something else out there. I'm going to continue to shop if I haven't already, or I won't. And I know better. And so much more I'm going to be covering in this video. I'm going to be giving you some quick EIDL updates, PPP grants, employee retention tax credits. I may not be going live tomorrow. I usually do this on Thursdays, but I wanted to get this information out to you on how to get a business loan of these magnitudes without getting scammed, without worrying if your information is protected, and more. Before I get started, if you're watching me now, please give me a hashtag live in the comments, a hashtag replay if you will be watching this later when the replay comes out. Let's get right into things. So if you're out there searching the web on how do I get a business loan, Google, how to get a business loan, YouTube, you hear it from a friend or family member, perhaps you see a social media post, perhaps you've even seen me on TikTok, maybe on Instagram, YouTube Shorts, YouTube, blog posts, all across the web. Maybe you're seeing ads if they're running from me, maybe they're not running anymore, I have them on pause, and you're wondering, what's the legitimacy of this person? How can I rest my head on their shoulder? And so forth. So what I do, I usually help a lot of people. Mostly what I start off with is on a personal level, on a human level first. And I really do care about you. I'm not just saying that like other organizations or lenders or perhaps brokers or agents do. I really do care about you spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, who you are, your character. Characteristics have a lot to do with my work. And whenever I'm working with someone, sure, your business may be healthy or it may not be, but I want to know who you are. I want to know potentially what triggers you to think this way. Why are you stubborn if you are? Why are you acting ignorant about this? Why do you never give feedback? Why aren't you ever punctual? And then see ways of how we can come together and find a tipping point where this can move us in the right direction. So that's how much I care. And then in business, I can really help you with that as well. Now, how do you get a business loan without getting scammed is the priority here. Like I mentioned in the beginning, you don't just go find another ad if they're telling you directly to go to this lender or an indirect lender, or maybe it's an online marketplace or something you are unfamiliar with. Now you're in an ecosystem where they're tagging you to their website. Perhaps you haven't even started an application. Now they're tracking all of that. You probably went through a robotic machine where then they spit out an offer, told you, hey, we're looking at your information. Here's our portal. We might just give you an offer. Just wait around here and come back. And then guess what happens? Maybe you do, maybe you don't get an offer. But the understanding is that information you just gave them, what are they doing with it? How do you know they're not going to take that and use it against you? How do you know that that information isn't going to be sent to other third parties? It's going to be stored already because you supplied your credit score level. Now it's with the credit bureaus. And then at that point, there are buyers out there who are buying this information. There are syndication leads. And there's a lot more out on the dark web that you're unfamiliar with. So you end up having to freeze, or it wasn't your part that you could freeze your account. Somebody else did it for you. And or you went ahead and locked your account because you don't want that being shown to everyone. And I get that. Your guard is up. Maybe this is the first time you're watching me and asking, who's this Michael guy? And if I didn't say this in the beginning, I'm an expert business loan broker / agent who's been able to help a lot of businesses, a lot of business owners from different industries and backgrounds get the right type of financing, finally, without having to continue to look for something that you're going to make mistake on. Day, weeks, months, and years pass by, you're back to the same position. I tried helping you, but you tried doing things your own. You wanted to go shop around. And what's most important to that is, I'm going to get this out of the way, and I'll jump back onto trigger leads and a few other components. When you're getting a business loan, you have to understand that there are different types of lenders out there. It's not always best to go to an online marketplace and shatter your information. That's what I'm going to say, shattering your information by giving it to them. Some are more legitimate than others. Even if they're legit, do they have the best lender or lender providers? Not in all cases. How about their system? How is it built? Well, they don't give you a personal touch. They don't even know who you are. They just send you somewhere. They tell you to go and apply. And then now you're wondering, what do I do? Now there's higher fees. You're wondering about, does this application look good? And now you're wondering if I'm even getting the best. But above all of that, there are A, B, C, D plus tier lenders, more than that, who are looking at your file. If I were you as the lender, I'm looking at your file and I'm going, what are your fundability details? In the sense of, what are you doing FICO-wise? If there's business credit that we look at, how much, to what extent, how is that compared with personal credit, creditworthiness, and more? Do you have thin credits? How about time in business? What's your revenue like in the last 3 to 6 months? What is your average monthly revenue? Average monthly sales? What is your gross revenue? If we're looking at profitability, net income, and a few other things SBA related, there's a lot of different services. Point being is, there are different lenders. Like, I have a lot of people this week, and I've had it in the past, and it'll continue to happen until you see content like this, until you open up those broadcasted emails, if you're a part of my sequence, and you're like, I'm not just going to read it. I'm going to actually click the link, save the video if I don't watch it all the way through, so I can then come back and watch it, which a lot of people do. They even tell me, thank you, Michael. I couldn't finish watching this video, but I have saved it. I bookmark it so I can come see it later in the evening when I'm not driving my truck, when I'm not out there at a job site, when I'm not out here running my salon shop. I'm going to take time to watch this video when I have the time. And I'm not saying that aggressively or in a negative way. The tonality comes up to give you some tough love, to help you to get to understand that, hey, I'm here for you, that if it takes some tough love for you to actually understand this and hear it over and over, that I'm not BSing you, I'm not bullshitting you. I'm telling you for your own good that this is the roadmap, this is the partnership. If you went to, if a B, let's say this, for example, you have a 600 and above credit, you're not above 650 yet, or 625, you're just like 615. Let's just say you're sitting there, you're doing 25,000 plus per month in deposits, and we can break that down on a gross level. And you're doing that consistently over the last 3 months. You're not dipping 25, 10, and then 5, and then now you have a different lender who's looking at your file. You're considered a different type of tier. So you're a B tier lender, for example, let's say that, and you have 1+, or let's just say you have 2+ years in business. Well, you think an A tier lender is going to look at you, but that's not the case. You may get a B to C tier lender instead, depending on your details. And I'll show you all these things in the underwriting process of different services. I don't know what the whole confusion is about you having to go and shop around everywhere and anywhere. When I work with the best lenders, the best providers, the best team of underwriters, the best team, period. I've put together that. We filtered out who are the right lenders for each A. If there are multiple A tier lenders, which ones are they? For my industry, what will be best? B, C, D plus tier lenders and more. And sometimes it's just one direct lender we look at. Other times it's a party of them who go, hey, we're going to help Janice here. She's in the construction industry. She does paving. And we have 2 lenders. We're going to toy around and see if this one's willing to come in. But then we were actually wanting this one. And then this one offered better, more. And then this one just kind of laid back. And we're protecting your privacy. We're not shooting this information out and hurting your credit or any of that. So if it takes a brokerage, I have the right one and once, where we're protecting your information. You can count on me on that. And so be very careful if you're a client who I've spoken with, and perhaps it's on a phone call, perhaps it's an email, perhaps it's a text message. A lot of the times it doesn't have to be a phone call. It could be a direct messenger chat, as simple as that. You get the point. You're ready to move forward. And you know that what I'm bringing to you, I'm doing it for your best interest, not mine. If I said, damn, this person's going to get them, I'm going to get a better commission. No, I'm not looking at that. I don't do that. Honestly, I don't. I don't look at that. I go, hey, they needed an SBA loan. Let's do this. Let's get it done. And I spoke to my team the other day because I didn't like something that they were doing, a part of the communication. I was like, hey, we need to improve this. Please do this for me next time. Please CC me to this. Please get this information out to me 2 days before. And I'm a punctual person, not a mean person at all. I'm not like that, but I know my stuff. If something isn't done appropriately, I will get a handle on it, and I will find out for you. Like right now, I'm speaking to a lender of mine because I have an applicant, and I have multiple, who are not allowing to have their phone number on the application because they're applying a certain way. They inputted something, so there's like an IP block where there's a potential blockage, which happens with applications. It's common, to protect themselves. They might not be causing fraudulent activity, but they're protecting themselves, and there's a way to unlock that. So I'm talking with the lender. Now, that's why it's important for you to do things desktop-wise. Now, on that matter, let's say you're a B tier lender. Maybe you fall right into a C tier because of revenue, because of FICO, because of time and business, because of use of funds, etc. Multiple combination of things. Now, you're over here like, Michael, well, I just spoke to you on who the lender was offering you money from, directly or indirectly. We protected all your information. Privacy protected. This is the best thing to do. It offers you the most flexibility, best terms and rates. I don't want to sound like that person, but that's the honest truth. And then the early payment discounts, you can come back and get more funds. And if you were to go to someone else, let's say, let's put it this way. You're a B tier lender thinking, oh, now I'm going to go and apply for, we already looked at you for this lender. Or we didn't, but we know that we were never going to be able to help you with them. That's why I never sent you them directly or indirectly. I'm not going to start naming those A tier lenders, but you're a B to C tier lender. What are you doing over here applying to an A tier lender, or you don't even know what you're doing? You're applying to a C plus tier lender when you're a B or an A tier lender, and you're wondering, why the heck am I not getting an approval over this amount, or what am I getting this, and I'm crying now, and I'm getting frustrated, I'm kicking, I'm panting. Do you understand this? Like, it's more evident that this is the case, that whether you shopped around before you met me or you're still doing it thereafter, I would say completely shut that off because of those reasons. You can get scammed out there. I can go through all of my emails right now, like you may, and you see an influx amount of them every single day. The same person, damn person sending me the same damn message every single day, wanted me to accept some contracts that I never even went to go and apply for. They're asking for bank statements. Start the application. Be very, very careful. I have a lot of applicants who do this. Other brokers and agents, has happened to them, and they're very ethical. And then there are those brokers and agents who go out there and buy leads, or companies do. And I don't do any of that. I don't associate with that. I don't sit with that at all. That's not ethical. That's a characteristic flaw. I would never want to be a person like that. Not that kind of interest of doing anything like that and sending your information and shooting it off that way. But I have a lot of these companies, and I'm still discovering a lot more, who say, hey, here's the contract. How could you even get approved for that when we didn't even approve you for that here? We couldn't even get you a line of credit. Now somebody's approving you for $700,000 in a line of credit. I went to go search them. There's no information of them anywhere on the web. Facebook, Google, YouTube, no indication of the business owner or whoever it is, their name. Guess what? They don't usually act as direct lenders. They're selling your information. They're dispersing it. They're only going to hurt you by adding more inquiries, whether they're soft or hard. Maybe they didn't tell you they were hard inquiries. Do you guys understand where this is moving into? So what you see, what appears, don't always believe it. Doesn't matter. Don't go over there and think, even if the best lender was provided, be very careful about their processes. You don't understand how that information is being dispersed, how it's being used perhaps against you. Now, I work with the best, and I filter those who don't participate in any of that. And you're going to get the best out there. Just be very careful. You're B tier. What are you doing applying to an A tier when you don't even qualify for that? There's a reason why we were looking at you here with this lender, not this one. Only one lender. And then there's a reason why this lender rejected your application, because you've applied like 50 billion times in the last month or so. What are they going to say? Yeah, let's accept Jimmy or Sally in. It's them again. You're not an invited guest. You were in the beginning, but you're not welcomed at that point. Later on, perhaps. But right now, you're not welcome to this party. Have you ever been in that position where you've been in high school? Perhaps you didn't go to parties. I wasn't much of a party person. I'm an introvert. I'd rather be in a closer, tight-knit group. But I've been to them, plenty of times. And sometimes I didn't get invited to some. Sometimes I had mutual friends, but I didn't get to go. Well, you've been rejected for certain reasons. Accept it. Don't cry. But when you speak with me, I'll let you know why that's the case. I have that information. You're being smart, but you think you are, but you're not. Honestly, I see that information. And if you have to learn a lesson or two, I'm going to let you do it. You want to wait on the offer for about another week or two? We might not even have it available because the lenders want to move away. They're not going to hold it on much longer. Sometimes I can with my connections, but today's market, certain industries especially, they need to move that. And if you're not on top of it, if you're not serious about it, we see you've been applying everywhere. What do you think we're going to do? We're either going to completely cancel it, or two, we're going to reduce your terms. We're going to increase your rates. We're going to reduce the amount that you get. And now you're going to be in a position where, like, I had 28 weeks, I had 30 weeks. I got a weekly repayment. Now I have less of a weekly repayment, or they move me back down to daily because you weren't being serious, John. You weren't being serious, Lisa, Sally, Tom, whoever it is I'm speaking with. This is why you just don't apply anywhere and everywhere. This is why you go and apply when you are ready. That's what my free 6-step pre-approval lending checklist is for. And if you haven't picked that up, and this is your first time watching me, or you're like, that's going to be another guy that just sends me emails, I'm not. You're missing out. You've probably been on my email list for such a long time, you don't even know who the heck you're hearing from anymore. Let's be honest. So I'll leave the questionnaire form down below with the free 6-step pre-approval lending checklist, that'll walk you through very thoroughly those 6+ steps, bonus material on what you should do, how you should be aware of different lenders, programs, providers, why it's very hard for people to understand this until they see it. And they go, oh, well, is this guy being truthful? Is he just trying to get me? No. I don't have energy or time for that crap. But if you do see the value in what I bring out, like my educational content on this channel and everywhere else, I've seen other YouTubers, I've seen other content out there. They don't give you everything. They may not give you everything in content form. They might give you more when you've, hey, just start the application and then I'll give you more. Or just come into my ecosystem and I'll show you more before you get started. But not all do. They don't know their stuff. They're probably being sponsored. They're probably being told what to say. Have you guys not I'm not being I'm not having a sponsor. Sponsored by. I don't have a sponsor. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm going to not have one ever, or that I will accept or decline one. I'm not saying that. And I won't speak like a monkey. I'll say the part that they want me to say, but I'm going to give everything up front and tell you how it is, if that were the case. So I just released content on a specific program speaking about this, and there are multiple ones to watch out for, because it's what's called trigger leads. There's information down below. You apply. Perhaps you applied with me, and you're now wondering, hey, I didn't apply with them. Why am I getting emails from them, Michael? Is this from you? And now you're thinking it's my fault or another broker or agent. No. What happened is, even the best lenders, at the end of the day, there's still that mitigated risk, that little, like 1 to 2+% of those files that happen, where the credit bureaus now have your information, and then other people buy that information from the credit bureaus because they allow that, or they disperse it in a different manner. This just happens with even the best lenders. But what happens is you mitigate that risk of your information then being sold. You mitigate the risk of it even actually happening when you have the best lender and the best partnerships. And that's what you want to do. And you have me by your side. So if anything like that does come up, I address it and I go, no. That's what people do with me. They ask me, Michael, they're trying to get me for that's not going to work. They're acting as a direct lender, but they're not. They're going to sell your information to a third party. Then that third party is going to try to scam you. They're going to try to send you information like this. And then now I'm not speaking to you because you were under false pretense that somebody else gave you more information, or you were given a different offer, more, better rates, better terms. I'm like, what? I even see people who were like given 15 months when they should have even been given 12 months. They shouldn't even been given a 1 to 2 year time frame. They should have been looking at about 8 to 9 months. But it doesn't make sense why they were given 15 months. They were just trying to get pleased by that lender or organization so they can make money. They give you a longer term, but guess what? They may end up scamming you. They may not, but they charge you more. Total cost of financing is much more expensive. Maybe they say something in the contract, but it's not actually true. And this is why you're in the position you're in now, fighting these if you've already fallen victim to this. And it's not your fault. I'm not blaming you. This is what happens. So I'm going to leave it at that. There's a lot more I can get into, like syndication and how there's data out there, why people call you and they act on behalf of a party. Perhaps I've introduced you to the right lender. This other company bought that information and now they're trying to act like them. You want to disassociate yourself with that and check in with me. And just know that I bring legitimacy to the table. I will introduce you to the best lender, the best providers, and I know them personally and in business, so I work with them all the time. I have a lot of emails coming back and forth to me, underwriting. The lenders are saying this to me. I need to communicate this with you. I need to show you the offer, the terms, the rates, or sometimes you need to refer to this email or I'm CC'd or not CC'd, but you need to look at it from this point of view because that's what it's requiring, and that's how we do things in some ways. So with that said, I won't go any further. Usually my lives go for over been to like the an hour mark. But EIDL Loan, not a lot of fraudulent activity. Wow, millions upon millions of fraudulent activity there. I don't even want to get into the types of stories. A lot of them, especially some of them that just came on the news. I saw one last night. I don't want to speak too much about that. But so much fraudulent activity. PPP loans are up there too. Forgivenesses, time frames. The repayment coming up here in October shortly. Deferments, I've talked about that in the past. We're uncertain about that even happening. A lot of things going back and forth within the senators, within them, and then the groups, then an administration all in one. And, employee retention tax credit, that is something that is available. If you guys are looking to get up to a certain amount of funding, like per employee, if you guys were thinking about getting a payroll tax credit up to about 26,000 per employee or so, and it goes per quarter basis, and it's a determination of what was happening between 2019 to 2020, 2019 to 2021 can be included. And there's a few other components to that. And if you've already started the application, continue forward with it. I've shown you where to go, how to get started, and how to proceed with that. Now, I'll leave it open for about another minute, and then I will get going. So if anybody has anything they would like to say, this is spontaneous. So if nobody comments, I can understand that. I didn't broadcast this out. So that's just the gist of it. There's a lot more I can get into with spam and with scam and with fluff, theory, deeper levels, but I'm going to leave it at that. Just be very careful about who you give your information to. And with me, if you give it to me, it's going to be in safe hands. It'll be to the right lender. And with me, I have a questionnaire form, so I vet everything. And I get to see, it's like, think about it as like a product reaction. If you were ever in chemistry or any kind of science class, you had the reactants and then you had the products. And you see the result of combining compounds or single elements and into one, a combustion reaction or dispersion reactions or anything else like that. And you see that you're putting something into a funnel here and you're getting spit out these chemical reactants, and these products are coming to this side and what you have evolving. So that's kind of how I do things. I put things into a mixer. I look at it, what your details are, and then I have the products on this side and the services and what's best to get started with, and get you to understand that why you're not getting approved for what you want. Why are you actually getting this? Why does it actually make sense to start with this and then move up? Like I just created content on this, growth and expansion funding. If you're looking for medium to higher rates, or you're not looking for them, but that's what you end up getting to start with. The reason behind that, unsecured, you're already a high risk, looking at it just based on revenue, cash flow. So you build up. And that's what I have for you. I have a strategic roadmap in partnership to do all of this. So nothing on the share screen, as you can see. So I'm going to leave you with that. If you got value out of this video, please give it a thumbs up. Share it with others so you feel will get value out of it. I can be a complete stranger, friend, or family member. And just always remember, there are different ways of getting a business loan. How to get a business loan today was spoken about how to do it without getting scammed. And that, to the sense, is having the right partnership and the right roadmap, having the right business loan broker / agent who will actually be there to care for you in a personal way as well as in business. I really do care. I take the time. I remember people very well. And hopefully you allow that to some degree. You don't have to be so open. I'm an introvert too, so it's difficult for me to, not in a sense relate, but it's hard for me to open up as much. But if you get me going a little bit, I'm not a talker, but I will let you into my world. And perhaps you've already seen it, my struggles. You've seen me at my best. You've seen me at perhaps sometimes at my worst, why I'm here, why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I just only want to help you get better as a person, because a person who wants to improve themselves will also improve in their business. That's a fact. And I'm evidence that that's happened. I've run multiple businesses. So not anymore. I'm going to leave you with that. Please subscribe. Click that bell notification icon so you do not miss any future content I will be coming out with. And refer to the description for all information, comments as well. And for everything else, I will get back to you soon. If you're currently waiting for me, please be patient. I've been getting flooded, and this is what you want. You want to have somebody who is very busy and productive and can get it done for you. That's all. Take care. Bye.